that is far too far away. How am I supposed to do anything from that distance? I can't read. I think I'm going to move you up there. Work with me here. Everything's set up different. I gotta shout Ground Pounder out. He's the reason. Apparently, my settings were all off. So, what up, Dano? Outdoor Oasis, what's going on? Bad for you, what's going on? Yeah, man, I've had a wild, just a ridiculous week. I think because I trolled too much, people thought I was kidding with what I said last week. Oh yeah, and I was in the middle of saying thank you to Ground Pounder because he let me know that my time for this was set for 1 o'clock in the morning. I set it for 8:30, but YouTube reset it, so. We got Tim here too? What's going on, Tim? What's up first, Tim? Yeah, so the other day, if you notice, I have a lot of like gear sitting here. I have the rope runner behind me. I'm gonna do some climbing kind of tips and tricks during this one. A little different than normal, but figure I'd mix it in. So a few of the stuff that I get into here will kind of translate over to that, but yeah, I know. I'll be late for my own funeral, Hardwood. That's just me, man. So the other day, I get asked all the time, like, do I ever do evergreens? And that's kind of a big no. Oh, I took my mod away, so it. Oh, okay. Really? Yeah, that's weird. Give me a mod. It's gone because YouTube took my account away. What? What? Well, when I get a chance here, I'll make you a mod again. That's messed up. But I would, but it got late on me. And there's been so much chaos in my neighborhood today that I don't need to add to it. Cowboy, I would love to just fire up the sauce. But here, I got one for you. Just for you, since you showed up, I'll fire this one up real quick. That was for you, okay? I'll say I didn't ever give you nothing. Officer pulls his weapon out in front of everybody, brandishes his firearm, and fires off a couple rounds. Yeah, so the other day I got myself into a pine tree, and I have to say I lost some. Oh, dude. I have a YouTube channel that I started, and I was gonna tell everybody, and it was something totally, it was different. And I got to like 300 to 400 subscribers. I was right in there, and then because I had just started it, and it grew really fast. And before I even got a chance to tell you guys, I switched phones, and now I can't get into the account. So I haven't been able to do anything with it. I can't get them to retrieve it. So what's going on, Zachary? Yeah, yeah, I got all kinds of them. Oh, four-stroke chainsaws? Hang on. Four-stroke chainsaws versus two-stroke chainsaws, your opinion? I just used, so here, I'll tell you. So the other day, I did a pine tree, and let me just say, I'm very dangerous, Tim. The guys that do the straight trees, that was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, tree work in general for me is super easy. It's almost, I mean, for lack of a better word, but it perfectly explains it. It's too easy for me. So, this pine, which is abnormal for me, I never do them, was just, it was so easy. It was so simple. It was just like the easiest tree I've ever done. So, that makes sense. All the West Coast guys seem to do those kind of trees. They're just super simple. And I mean, I guess if it was another 100 foot higher, I mean, what, I had to climb a little more? I mean, what's the worst case? Like maybe a nosebleed? So, just just FYI, I needed to make it clear. And in this video, I use techniques that I've told you don't do, but I've used them in the right way. I respond to Tim, um, and we'll talk about it through as we get into this. But on my way down with the tree, we were over the power lines and stuff. I got to actually I used the 500i a few days before, where I took out a tree that was laying on a shed, and the wood was so twisted up, I almost cut my rope. And as I tried to cut into it, it had barber chaired and twisted and was all slivered and everything. So as I got cut, it just wanted to pinch my bar the whole time. It was probably some of the most dangerous cuts I've ever made, to the point that I had to absolutely completely reposition and get both hands on the saw. And I've never felt like with the top handle I've ever absolutely needed to have both. Like I always felt like if I thought it was safer I could get away with, but not in this one. It was too much. Come up with this little trick thing here that I really like, and it came in handy on the pine. And just yeah, yeah. I don't like pines. Single and big money. Yours was only 30. You son of a bitch! It was not. Mine was so big. It was it was too big, like for anyone else. It was too easy for me, but it was way bigger than what you're thinking. Okay, then everything goes perfect. It's I'm doing a removal. You guys know. You guys know. So everything goes perfect. Long story short, you'll see the video eventually. And I feel like that's why people don't watch my videos as much anymore, because they just know it's going to be done perfect. So they're like, why do I need to watch this? Another one. So I get to where I'm going to fall the log after working the chunks down with the 500i. And I have really grown to like these. These are really, really nice wedges. They're called hard heads. And they have a metal head in them and your normal plastic wedge. So I think Rookie Tim may have just used one. Maybe they may have. He may have. You know how you grow into a regular bicycle from training wheels, and then maybe you go to a 10-speed. I think he may have finally rode the trike enough that they took the training wheels off, and he has used one recently, but I'm pissed off. This is trash. This is trash. The metal broke out, and look at it. It's so... This is me trying to fix it. That's nice, JB Weld, isn't it? And I don't know if JB Weld really connects metal to plastic, but Bert, what's going on, Bert? I don't know if it really works that way, but we're gonna see. I'm really pissy about it. I don't like it. I didn't buy this to have a plastic wedge. I bought this because I sometimes, actually, I usually hit it perfect every time. I don't know what I'm thinking. But other people, when they use my wedge, or wedges, they'll hit the edges and they mushroom and get all funky and everything. And so I said, well, I'll get the metal head one, because then when other people use my wedge, they don't mushroom it all up and get it all messed up and stuff. And it wasn't cheap. And then it did that. So I think I don't like it. I'm pissed off about it. I think Hardhead should send me a bunch of free stuff or something. Or take this trash back and get me one that doesn't have bunk ass metal in it. Because apparently, like, there's a metal framing in here somewhere, because this piece broke off like right there. And it's just had two little prongs of metal on it and a little strip. So okay, enough crying. I'm done crying about that. All right. Okay. What up, John? What's up, brother? Oh, they do that? Now I'm really pissed off. Okay, so now I changed my mind. Hardhead. This is officially, like, you can send multiple wedges to me, and I will distribute them out to the other people that were duped by this ridiculous setup. I'll go back to using cheap plastic ones if this is what's going to happen. When you buy that wedge, it comes with 50... I didn't get my what the fuck? See? I didn't get the subscribers either. I actually, to tell you the truth, I think I lost a couple subscribers the first day that I used it. So mine was probably broke from the get-go. I didn't get the subscribers. I think I lost subscribers. The head fell off. So I'm not happy about that. Also, you guys can keep those damn pine trees. I don't want them. Don't ask me why I don't speed line stuff and why I don't do this and that and this, because I climb real trees, first of all, and I don't like the sap. I don't like the sap. You know what I had to do? And you know what, I'm not going to tell you how I did it, because I feel like I was probably wrong about it, and it's probably something you shouldn't do. But you know how long it took me to clean this thing? As I came out of the tree, I would drop like a foot every time, and it took all my power. There was so much sap to pull and drop down, drop down. I would have dropped down probably 2 foot each time, but I had it in DRT as I was coming down, so I get my rope back. But yeah, I don't like sap, and you guys can just keep that shit. If you guys got any secrets for getting sap out? What's going on, Elf? Capricorn? Where's my 200? I know. It's trash, dude. I swear Tim's got a weird setup. He bought all his other subscribers at his steel dealership. There's something about there at that town. They just sell subscribers and, like, they give them away and shit. But, yeah. I don't like the sap. You guys can keep that shit. All my stuff's ruined. I had to probably do something you're not supposed to do with this metal. How you guys get sap out? Tell me. Sap zapper. Premium or super? Or just straight old regular? What one is sap zapper? Rubbing alcohol. Okay. Okay. I prefer, on my hands, I use gasoline and my arms, and then I wash it off. But like nothing will break the sap up until you do that. So there's a chance that I just rubbed gasoline all over all my stuff and then oiled everything up afterwards. But if that's not right, then that's not what I did. So Diddy oil and cotton ball. Okay, well I used a spray oil, but same thing. Same thing. I could, yeah. Google it. You son of a bitch. Google it. I I didn't. I don't want to. Now I'm done. I'm done. But like I said, you guys can keep that shit. I don't want that. I don't like it. I don't want it. Even the gree was gummed up to the point that like after I cleaned everything, then I had to oil everything back down, and I just hope like if I was to have used gasoline, I just hope it doesn't have a negative effect on anything. So, but yeah, okay, yeah, from Dollar General. Really? What the? I'm gonna have to check. Princess Balboa? Wow. All right. Let's start the week. Let's start the week out. So I strolled YouTube. I'm like, first of all, what the hell? It's just got boring. It's gotten boring, man. I'm trying my best, but like everybody just wants to do it with a crane and use a machine to do everything, and if they're making actual videos, that's what they're doing. Like they're trying to get to where they all do it the exact same with a crane, and that's just okay for the most part. Like I guess I'm not a fan. A lot of the channels that I really used to enjoy, I don't watch no more because it's just the same thing, over and over and over. So, but if they're not doing that, then like there's some channels out there that I was gonna start talking about, but when I went to the channel, like they don't have videos, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll talk about that further. But okay, first person we get to, first channel will be Guilty of Treason. That popped up this morning, so it was the first one I checked out. So last week I had a rough week, and I'll talk about it a little more. Like I got this big old dent and gouge in the side of my truck. It looks like somebody hit it with an axe. Um, a few days after posting that was actually a few days before because I was told don't post it because they thought they knew who possibly did it because there was some other vandalism. But it turns out I don't think that they were tied together. A few days after posting that to you guys and you guys seeing it, I went to the door, woke up, and it looked like someone had hit my truck in the exact same spot with the axe. And if you notice on my truck, it's a dark gray. So when it got hit and went through, it was like white looking, and it's a deep like cut into it. And I look out, and that cut goes like this. There's another one now that goes like this, and I was like, I lost it. I was like, no way. I threw the door open. I ran out there, and it turns out it's bird poop. The second one was bird poop. I'm just so aggravated with the phone calls and all the other BS that I just took for granted that it happened again. But I think there's a good chance that the first incident, well, the actual incident with the gouge in my truck, actually happened at Walmart. I don't think it happened here. I think it happened at Walmart, and hopefully that was just a random situation. I got the crane. Love the crane. I would too as a worker. I don't. It's not good to. It's not fun to watch. I mean, I will watch anybody do it a few times, and I find it interesting. But I just feel like it's just kind of boring to watch if you're making a video. But but just the ones I've seen. I think you should be able to make anything entertaining. Um, but it's just hard for me to be entertained by the crane work. So Guilty puts out a video. It's called "This Tree Was 1 Foot away from the house. 0 impact fur removal with a crane. My notes say, yay, another boring crane job, awesome. But at least in this video, Randy is the Mandy, ends up going up the tree and they speed lined the limbs down and stripped it out. So it did make the video a little more entertaining because of that, but it's just really hard for me to watch it and be entertained by a crane job. You cut it, you pick it, you put it down. And I'm like, so. Sorry, at least I admitted it. What'd you admit? But yeah, that's all I really got for treason. The video was okay. It looks like maybe we're starting to move out of the awkward stage of this weird safety stuff. So it'd be nice when it's a little further in the past. So next channel is JLM Tree Service. Yeah, the video is called Scary Hazardous Tree Removal. Watch us climb and safely remove this dangerous tree. So, man, some of these guys got the longest titles. It's hard to, wow. Like, it's a lot of stuff to have to write down. I notice in his videos, he always, if I'm giving climbers advice, I would say, I don't really watch cranes. Yeah, it's just hard, Tim. It really is. It's just, what's up, Dan? It's really hard to get into them. So, you know, I've tried. I get bored with it so easily. So, especially if you're a good climber with crane work, you make it look super boring. That's just the truth of it. Like, if you cut it and it doesn't move and you just move, it makes it look stupid easy. But that's because you're good. So I'm not talking down on anybody out there that does crane work and is good at it. Dude, that's awesome. It is just not the greatest thing for me personally to watch. And I'm probably not alone in that sentiment. So, wish I had the time to watch more videos. Yeah, I don't. See, my problem is Saturday, I try to remember throughout the week. My week is so crazy. And then on Saturday, when I wake up, my wife knows as I wake up and I'm drinking I'm watching videos and I'm writing and I'm writing. And I spend the day doing that. And I try to find new channels and look stuff up but yeah, it's getting really rough because even when I find a channel and I think, well, this guy would be good, I go there and he doesn't post videos, like he'll just post shorts. Like, I can't get into shorts either. Like, I usually don't really watch my shorts feed much because I want to be entertained and like I don't feel entertained with most shorts. They're just too quick. Like, I don't have a TikTok mentality. But yeah, I just noticed with JLM Tree Service, he tends to have his ropes all wrapped up and rope on rope contact. His rigging crosses his climb line a lot of times, and he kind of leaves it. I think it's a really bad habit to get into, and I think if you're doing that, you're just setting yourself up for something bad to happen. So, as a climber, you should spend a little extra time routing your stuff and thinking about it to avoid at all costs any rope on rope contact with anything, especially when you're rigging something that's going across your climb line. That rigging rope is moving. Even if you're on a stationary line, you just have a stationary line that's tight and it's rubbing the same spot every time, but it's moving there, so it's just burnt. It's just not good. But you know, I just wish I didn't see that kind of stuff. You know, there's some guys out there that you can leave a comment with them and you feel like they would take it and maybe understand. Other guys that I feel like I'm not even leaving you a comment because you're going to get your feelings hurt. So I'm just not doing it. So, next, rigging system, okay, yeah, okay. there's no need to be overly dramatic about things. Okay? I think that's a YouTube thing. I really enjoy channels when I watch them that are chill about it. Like Perry Trees is next. He doesn't. His voice never changes. He's monotoned. He acts like he doesn't even have emotions, and I prefer that. Much more than the "What's up, YouTube" kind of stuff. But I guess there's room for everybody here. Um, I just don't. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But in the video, he talks about how he was cooking and he burnt his hand, and he burnt it really really bad, and he's gonna show us, and he takes his glove off and he goes to show us, and there's nothing. Um, that's a bummer. I think if you're gonna sell it like you've torched your hand and your hand's all messed up, and then you pull it up, and I think I probably have bigger scrapes on my hands now. Um, and I feel like mine are in really good shape right now. They were just bleeding yesterday. So yeah, I don't know. That's weird. So in this video, he's concerned with this tree failing. So as he's going up, he's moving his tie-in point around, and he's trying to watch out for the tree to fail. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Yeah, me too. I'm far from perfect. You know, it's actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know why I would lie like that. I'm the outlier though. Just it's not normal to be this perfect. So I get why other people are not perfect. With enough practice, you can get close. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta admit it when you're wrong. I don't really know what that feels like, but I feel like if I ever was wrong, I could definitely admit it. He tries his ass off. He tries his ass off, Tim. Um, I just, I have, I don't know. I feel like I get a really, really fake vibe because I got some prank phone calls when he was mad at me. I could be wrong, but I got some prank phone calls directly when that was the only person that was mad at me. I don't even think I was doing this yet. And I got some really wild, disturbing phone calls where he said some crazy stuff. And then now he was a bit different, but now it's all about God and praying and being very religious, and like I just, good for him. Good for him. It's coming off weird to me, but I don't know him. So in the video, he's doing this sweet gum tree, and he's worried about it breaking and falling apart. So he's got his tie-in point down. Then he decides, because he's afraid of it failing, he's going to tie into it multiple more times. So me personally, if I'm afraid that a section of the tree is going to fail, I'm going to not tie into it. Or I'm going to tie into it as little as possible. He made it very clear that he is concerned with this tree failing and that it's so dead that it probably will fail, and then proceeded to tie into it 3 different times. His name's Travis. Yeah, I don't think he's ever said his name, so I didn't know his name. He seems like he could be an alright guy. If I had your number, I'd prank you too. Dude, I don't know how, well, you could, if you spend enough time scrolling through videos, you could find it. Like, that's, when people call like that, I'm like, oh, you're kind of psycho. Because you went through a lot to find it. Like, you went through a whole lot to find it. Because I purposely now go out of my way to make sure it's not there, when before I didn't really care. But with some of these new ones and stuff, I wish I would have always kept it away. Because now it's just, some of the stuff is crazy. But, yeah, I think if you're concerned with something, falling apart, here's something I just got. And this is strictly for when I'm on something and I have to lanyard into it that I'm afraid may break. It's a plastic carabiner. And what I would do is I would hook this to my D-ring, and then my lanyard I would clip to it. So if this was to give, this will definitely break. I actually bought like 4 of them and broke one to see what it would take, and it's just about right. Like, it's not just gonna break with ease. Like, it holds pretty dang good, but it did break, like, about with enough pressure as I wanted. So I'll just keep that kind of hanging on my D-ring, and then instead of having a station or a breakaway lanyard and all that other stuff, I'll just clip into that. This will break if it goes. I'm going to show you some more tricks today to keep you from going out buying expensive gear. So that's a little trick. And in the video, it was wild to see somebody say they're worried about it breaking and then tie into it like 3 times to 3 different sections. And it's like, right on. The message was a little convoluted. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Email me. So in this video, he ends it. He's like, he ends the video the same way he would start them a lot of times, where he's like, all right, YouTube, see you at the top. And he smacks the camera, and then all of a sudden, he's still at the bottom. So I'm like, okay. But I started getting used to that. He'd be like, all right, YouTube, we'll see you at the top. After showing you what he's going to do, we'll see you at the top. I'm still at the bottom. So I'm used to that one. But then he hit me with an ender this time, where he's like, all right, YouTube, that's it for this one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and all the other stuff. See you next time. Bye. And then he was like cutting wood. And I'm like, I thought the video was going to end. But I guess he doesn't have to end. I just feel like he was lying to me each time, and I didn't like that. So, yeah. Go check out JLM Tree Service, though. I'm just bullshitting a lot of times with a lot of this being, as Perry Trees would say, I'm being sassy or naughty. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. Go check him out. That's JLM Tree Service. He just wants likes, comments, subscribes. You know, he wants all the stuff that other YouTubers want. Go give him the YouTube love and get him up to 2,000 now. I mean, he's been doing he's doing his thing over there. He's a different character than I am, but I think deep down he just wants to be a good climber. I respect that always. You can see, I don't usually judge anyone that's starting to make videos and they're trying. I hate to see someone's character. I wish if you're going to make videos, you just get on there and you're just you. And you're just the character that you are. Because to try to keep up a character for a long period of time is too hard. You just can't do it. It'll come out eventually. Like if someone was going to play a stupid cop. I mean, how stupid is that? I was going to say the R word and I was going to get canceled. But how dumb would that be? To pretend like you're a cop. You're probably going to get arrested. You're going to go to jail. But, you know, I'm sure there's some idiot out there that would do that. But, yeah, he posts regular. He's a pretty good tree guy. Like, all in all, I may razz a bit, but he's alright. Go check him out. That's JLM Tree Service. I said his name like 15 times. So we better get like a couple subscribers from it. I really hope if he's a God-fearing feller and as nice as he says he is, he didn't have nothing to do with those dirty, disgusting phone calls that was sent to my house. Or to my phone. Yeah, but it is what it is. Alright, before we go to Perry trees, I'm going to give you another little trick. So, in that pine, it was a hawk. of a pine, and it was really tight. I had a electric wire next to the tree that kind of went to the pole, and then there was a fence here, and the pine tree's like right here. So I was taking chunks and pushing them down. So this little setup, my brother gave me one of those little notch pocket wedges. So these are real cool. You can do some. Yeah, hell yeah, Bert. You can. These come in handy. So when I got the chunk and stuff down, I would. This is set up really nice. Where all I have to do with it, I can hang it on my side. I just unclip there. That unrolls. So now I would just clip this to my side. And as I'm making my cuts on the wood, I can just put that in there. Should not get my saw pinched. And if it falls, it's attached to me. It's just some throw ball string that I took. I girth hitched it there. And then I just wrap it around to the bottom, around both. I girth hitched to one. And then I can wrap it around the bottom. It's still set up to where you can hammer on it. You don't have to worry about that. But I'd wrap around a few times. And then I'd double it. Run that through. And then do like a little daisy chain. And then clip that little carabiner thing on there. If you are a regular here, you'll notice that little carabiner thing is actually from my rigging display. But yeah, it gets the job done. So sit there and shut up for a second while I put this back together. Especially you, Tim. You talk too much already. Oh, come on. I got stupid fat fingers. Okay, yeah. So it's set up like that. And you just like clip it on, do your little thing, clip it on the back of you. And then when you're ready to use it, you pull it out, use it. So these little things, even though it looks like a toy, can be very useful. Oh, thank you, Katie. You too. Yeah, I have one of those. They're great when you're chunking. Yeah, it's so nice because that's all you really need. I'm a firm believer of just peel bark off, stick bark into it. A lot of these skinnier kind of flat wedges like this, or carabiners like this Petzl one, fit in a cut really nice. So yeah, just another little trick. And we'll get into the real ones when we go a little further here. Mine's on a retrievable keychain. Yeah, I have one on a retrievable keychain too, but I made that one with an eyelet on a regular size wedge. And after a while, I got in a bind. It would get stuck to some, and it like damaged the keychain part to where it doesn't retract right now. I even tried oiling it. It still won't work, but if you have a good night. Their garage. This guy don't even know how to talk. You corrected the wrong word, Tim. What are you doing? This guy, someone teach this guy how to talk. Their garage. Dude, I don't know. I think you may have meant to put a B in that. Garbage. But alright, let's move on. I have secondhand embarrassment from what Tim just did there. What are you doing, Tim? Their garage. This guy. God dang. Actually, I'm going to hit him with one of these. You need to relax. Where are we at? Oh, Perry Trees. Okay. Perry Trees. He's funny. I like him. I don't think he has emotions. He didn't get any when they were handing them out. So that's why I think I like him. It's just funny. But let's be honest. How do you have so much time to sit around playing with ropes? And I don't care how cool I look when I tie a knot. I just want to tie a knot. Like, so flipping it and doing all this fancy stuff is like a floor routine that a ballerina would do. Um, I don't do floor routines. I just dominate in trees. Um, so I don't know. The verdict's still out on him. I don't know about this guy. He's funny. He says some funny words, like I was saying earlier, sassy and like um, naughty, and he drinks tea instead of coffee. That's crazy. I think that's kind of cool. Um, I like tea too, but I like it with a lot of sugar. So it's sun tea kind. It didn't look like the tea I drink, but he put out a video. It was like lanyard adjusters and Petzl ART notch. He another one of these 50-word titles and more. So he shows multiple lanyard positioners, and he even adjusted his hair into like a nice little ponytail. Um, I mean, I like ponytails. I like when my wife puts her hair up. So that was, I guess, that was cool. He's cool. I don't know about the ponytail really. Uh, I'm still, I'm gonna reserve. Like, I don't feel I'm not making a decision on the ponytail yet. But yeah. So he showed some adjusters and yeah, I don't know. He just showed some different lanyards. That's what he did. So go check that video out. I don't know what to say about that. It's some adjusters, man. It was like watching a crane video in slow motion. It was absolutely thrilling. So, but what is the device on your right? On my right. What, this thing? Or this thing? Or I don't know. I don't know which one's my right and left. That's where I probably should start there. But pigtail. Damn. See, I gotta learn how to read better too. Pig. I know, that's what I was thinking, and that's wild if he's got a horse's ass on the back of his neck. That's pretty crazy. Um, I don't, I don't want to look either to find out, but I am curious. I am curious. That's, yeah. Haskin, what are we doing? What do you use for a lanyard adjuster? I use, I wonder if they have it in this. I wish I could just find it real quick for you. Because what I use is the Buckingham adjuster. I actually just found the tag and stuff for it. So I could probably just look in that little thing there. But I wish I could find it, because if you've seen the picture of it, I could explain the difference. Okay, of course. Okay, so I'll show you here. Oh, they have other ones like it. Rock Exotica done the same thing. So, if you notice here, is there another thing of these in front of it? Let me see. No. Okay. So, here's rope grab. This is what I use. I use mechanical rope grab. Can you see that? I can't see. So, if you notice, these up here, the way the connection point is orientated to where the hole is sideways, I don't much like those, but I have some of these and I've used them for a long time. But when I switched to Buckingham, make one like this, where they turned that eye up there, they turned it sideways. And the ability, the way you can adjust it, I remember when Cheryl begged me to be on this magazine too. Do I get to say I got the cover? Because I'm part of the cover, technically. And I got like, I think the corner spot is at the back and the bottom is the most desired spot for to get a photo. I mean, yeah, being on the front and having like the whole front page would have been kind of cool. But I mean, who else could say they got the back? I got it from the back in the bottom in the corner. So it is called. Oh, here. I bet you there's a picture of it in here. But it's my favorite rope positioner that I've ever used, or lanyard. Yeah, here it is. Awesome. I don't know why, but I found this. Tim asked me about it the other day. Plus, I dig the color scheme on it. I think the color scheme is probably what caught my eye originally. And, yeah, so there it is. Some photos of it. I don't know if if you're able to see through it there completely. But it's like I don't know, a little darker green than that. I would say here's the green. It's like that green. It's nice. Did Katie leave? All right, Katie. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, try it out. When they turned that little thing, you can bump that thing with your thumb. It's so perfect where it's at, and it's just easier to use. And I feel like it orientates the carabiner when you clip it on in a better position too. So it's really nice to use. But yeah, it's called Buckingham Rope Grab or Buck Grab PN 504B. So that's the actual, I guess, part number. Yeah, the part number is BK 504B. Okay. All right, what was we doing? Oh yeah, we talk about old Nate and his ponytail, and then I think Tim comes. Yeah, Tim's after that. Okay, yeah, but Perry Trees did another video, and it was called One-Handed Flying Bowling Technique. That's too fancy, too flashy, and maybe too feminine for me. Like, whipping stuff around and doing like routines. Like, I don't know about that, man. I like just tying a knot like a normal man. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool if you look like a ninja. Because I used to want to be a ninja so bad. I used to watch Three Ninjas. I loved Knuckle Up was my favorite one, but I used to watch Three Ninjas all the time. I wanted to be a ninja too, but I gave it up a long time ago, and I'm not that fancy. So I don't know about his second video or the one-handed flying bowling technique, but he's got a big YouTube channel. He doesn't need my help, but if you're not subscribed to him and you haven't seen his videos, go over and check it out. That's Perry Trees. His humor, I enjoy. It's very dry, and I'm still. The verdict's out on the ponytail. Maybe I'll get used to it, but I don't know. All right. When do I get to doing? I'll jump to that one after we do Tim here. Then I'm gonna do climbing. A little setup here with SRT and DRT for everybody, and it should be kind of fun. So I'm gonna hit that just because I've never watched a video where Tim didn't do something wrong. So, and I try to give him passes. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to look the other way, but he always does something. So, all right. The YouTube channel is called Veterans Tree Service. The video he puts out is called Maxing Out the Equipment on 120-foot Tree Removal, Pushing the Limits. How? Alright. You get one, from now on, you get one title. You got everybody trying to have 2 titles. Like, you get 1 title from now on. Stop, no more 2 titles. You get 1. So figure out how to word it in 1. I've had enough of this. It takes too long to read it. And I'm not like, hey, I want to get on YouTube because, man, I'd really love to read something. I don't even read the descriptions. So, you don't need any more intros? Yeah. Okay. You don't need any more titles either, alright? Just so you know, you got 1 too many already. Just on this video. Alright, but let's get into it. So, the video starts, and I don't know, he may have got a trespassing charge last time he tried to go to this job. It was a different officer on the, on scene that day. It wasn't me personally. But I think he almost got a trespassing charge trying to go cut down this guy's tree. And, but, so he picks it up back at this tree where he was at the first time, you know what I mean? And, he don't even know how to do it. Like, you went there once, you should have done it. But, yeah. So he has to go 2 times. And this ends up being a pattern for him. Check this out. Video starts, and it's adorable. It would be like if I tried to use this to do a whole tree job. He uses, actually, I'm telling you right now, this would be 1,000 times cooler. First, like, straight up. 1,000 times cooler if I use this little pistol gun. But he uses this little baby saw. Actually, I think I got one right here. Oh, no, it's the blower version, but close enough. It looks like, sounds exactly like it, and it runs pretty much the same too. So he uses this little Echo chainsaw for little boys. It's a youth, I think it's a youth version, but he's using it. It's cute, you know. So he's doing his little cuts with it, and he speed lines as he goes up on this tree. I think it's maybe a Douglas fir or something. I don't really know what kind of evergreen it is. I just know it looked a lot smaller than the ones I do, and the one I did the other day. That's just that's the first thing I noticed. But so he's speedline as he goes up, and instead of so we gotta hit him with one of these. Go up and put, if you want speedline, do it right. Go up, put a high point, and speedline it out. That way you got leverage, and you're able to lift him each time. But he's going to be all lazy, and just throw the line up a little bit as he goes. So we're starting off on the wrong foot. He's got a baby toy that he's trying to do the tree with, from some weird company called Echo or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't call it dead using one of them silly things, but you know, I guess he's secure with himself. So, but yeah, and so he's speed line is going up, and instead of setting a high point, he's basically just making things a lot harder on Little Snatch than he needs to. So Little Snatch is getting all beat up and strained and worn out. Like, well, dude, he's supposed to be your buddy. Why would you want to wear out Little Snatch? So, because like he's speed lining them, and because he don't got a high point, Little Snatch has got to come all the way out, and he's got to get the stuff out, because it's just basically falling straight down. But you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to take up for Little Snatch. I'm trying to get Little Snatch. I got his back. But so then it continues. Then, thank God. Like, I mean, honestly, thank the Lord he was using a baby toy to cut with because he cut his boot. He cut his boot. And he almost cut the rope. He cuts his boot, and luckily, if he was using like a steel, he would have lost a foot. Same thing would have happened with a steel chainsaw. He'd have lost a whole foot, I think. Maybe the leg, all the way to the hip. But he hits his boot, almost gets the rope, but luckily the little toy saw doesn't do a lot of damage. Then he says, and then he's working, and he's working. And I'm like, he says, hiya. And then he tried to tell me and everyone else to say hiya too. And make a video and tag him saying hiya. So, no. And I better not see anybody make a hiya video. I don't want to see any hiya videos. Everyone's trying to be a ninja. This is tree climbing. This is not ninja school. Everyone thinks it's ninja school, I think. So, he's like, hey, do a hiya and tag me. And no one better do that, first of all. Like, better not be anyone that does that. Then we go on. He brings up that he said, I've heard from somewhere that when you're using a speed line, that there's the placement of the speed line on the branch matters. So he says, I can't remember where he had heard the rule, but he's like, does it matter? He's like, well, I'll put them in different spots as we go and we'll see. So we come back to that here in a little bit. He gets to cutting and stuff. This guy he's good for a Disney movie like a famous skit or something. Like, this guy watched a lot of Disney movies. And Shrek, him and Little Snatch are like Shrek masters or something. I didn't watch Shrek that many times. How do you guys know all these lines? And so they're like reciting Shrek to each other. And I only watched Shrek one time, I think, because I had a daughter. And so and I just felt like I was out of the joke. I wanted to be in the joke and get it and laugh, but I didn't. When he's like, where's that from? I didn't know. So that happened. And then it just took a right turn out of nowhere and went into human trafficking. And I'm like, this is crazy right now. That's not good. Don't do that. Don't talk about that. But I mean, I couldn't stop him. The video was already edited and uploaded. You have to go watch it to see what all he says about it. But it happened. He had a discussion about human trafficking, which is wild. I'm not that brave. I don't think I could get away with that. I'd get canceled instantly just for saying I'm probably going to get canceled for saying it right there. But then we go, oh, yeah, this part. How many... I've told everybody, never at me. Especially if you're doing something crazy, don't at me. You know how angry I get when someone asks me about something? When I'm just chilling and then I see my name and I'm like, why? Like, he knows. And I'm like, what is this guy just thinks he can at me whenever he wants about stuff? And I'm like, I don't like this. So he's putting a speed line strap on. And if he puts it on, he gives it a double tug. Okay? I didn't like it the first time I seen it. First time I seen it, I'm like, then he does it again, and he does a double tug. Dunk, dunk. And he says, that's how I know that it's on there. And he added me in the video, which made my blood boil. Then he talks about you got to tug it twice. That's how you know. And you don't at me when you're talking about tugging it. Like, if you want to, like, hey, here's a free, you get this, and you can at me, maybe. But if you're talking about double tugging, please don't at me about double tugging. Because if I'm being honest, a real man will tug it once and it's handled. It's handled. The double tug is unnecessary. I feel like that's at least a tug too many. But I couldn't stop him. I just double tugged and double tugged and double tugged, and I was just, I can't believe I'm watching this. And he added me in the middle of it. So I didn't like that, but it happened. I mean, I couldn't. It happened. So it was. I got to give props. After that, I do have to give props. Not about at me. Absolutely not about that. Especially in the middle of that discussion. But I taught him a lesson. I've learned him that, you can teach a dumb dog new tricks. I think that's the way a stupid dog, or it's something like that. So I taught him to tie in right. And I seen him tie in right a few times. I was watching, I'm like, he's going to tie in wrong. And I was looking away a lot. So he may have snuck one in that I didn't see, but he actually was tied in on the actual stem of the tree multiple times that I seen. And I just want to say, good for you, little guy. Like, you're figuring it out, and you're going to get there. You're going to get there. I believe in you. And I think you can tie in right every time. I think on prune jobs, you can leave your spikes on the ground. Someone's got to teach you to stop tugging it so many times. But I mean, we're moving in a positive direction. That's just what you gotta look at things. You can look at the glass half empty. This guy just tugged it twice, more times than anyone's ever gotten away with on YouTube, I think, which is wild, because I think YouTube used to be super crazy, but he's tying in right. So, I pat him on the back. I think I pat him on his head. That's what I pat his head like this. I said, good boy. You did good. So, then we move. Then we can move on. I see. This is the issue, Tim. That's not. This is all. I wouldn't have put those two things together if it wasn't for you. I feel like you set me up for that. Like, set me up for the. Yeah, I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this. This is not good. But in the video, like I told you, Tim almost cut his rope, and then he does cut his rope. And it was because of the strap positioning. So if you think about it, and you're working on a branch, and the collar's here, let's say, and you hook up here, and your strap's long enough that it goes and it clips onto the rope, and you have some distance there. So if you cut the object and the point of putting it in the right spot, you don't want to come there. See, I shouldn't even use that word. You're making things really difficult around here with all that double tugging. It makes me have to change my whole vocabulary. But you want to be as close as you can to the cut without it being risky of it sliding off. Because when the branch is cut off of the collar, you want it to have a little distance between the cut and the rope, because the friction and them two rubbing is, you want to try to avoid it a little bit. It just will travel the line much easier. Now, if you was to take and put it way down here, which pulled the rope out, there is a potential that as the piece pops up and it's being held from down here, that this can actually half hitch itself onto the rope. And that's a bit of a worry, I think, sometimes with the speed line, and that when that pops off, because it's holding it out here and the strap only goes to like right here, as you make the cut, this could potentially wrap itself onto there and get stuck, or it'll do like what happened to Tim as he made the cut and the line was tight. You know, it's going from the anchor here out to the speed line strap and then down to the guy. So the tension is being pulled in. So when he made his cut, it pulled it in and he ended up hitting the rope with the saw. So he had to cut the end of the rope. So it does, the placement of that strap does matter. You're going to get better action and potential for failure if you have a little bit of room, especially on those ones where you want to cut and let it, I think, hang. I would, if I was guessing, I would think it was August who talked about it, or it was Reg. So, I don't, like I said, you can keep these damn sappy trees. I don't like them. I'm never gonna order anything. I'm so pissed off about that pine tree and the stuff that it did to my gear. I'm not even gonna order from Guilty of Treason's website ever because of it. Like, no, not happening. So yeah, you guys can keep them trees. I don't like it. But the strap positioning does matter. I'm not the guy that needs to be given all the tips and stuff about it, but you know, there's info out there. Check it out. But you know, you cut your rope. That is destruction of property. That's a ticket. You're about to get put on a list because of the double tugging. You have to register everywhere you go. But then they pull the Avant out. And Tim has a cool little Avant. I don't know what size it is. I think it's the smaller size of them. But they pull the Avant out and get to using it. But man, I tell you what, old little Snatch just dominates that Avant. He looks like an elephant riding a piss ant. That's a big little Snatch in that little machine. It's pretty crazy. But looks like he's got enough weight to him that he actually, it balances. It probably works better with him in it because he's got some weight to him. But yeah, they were using the Avant and they were lifting like, I don't know, maybe 400, 500 pound chunks. Maybe they were a little less, but 400 to 500 pounds on average, I would say. And the machine would get to tipping forward. I would imagine there's probably weights and stuff that you could add to that machine to get it to balance a little bit. But Nick, what's up? Bro, I probably have so many tickets with my tree fellas. No, you don't got any yet. You don't got any yet. Not yet, man. So, but yeah, they used the Avant. It was cool. I like the little machine. I think it's sick. It would be what I would want. I want the smallest version I can get and just dice stuff up, you know, if you have to. So they used it. It was cool. But like old little Snatch is so big, he looks like he could carry the Avant and the wood at the same time. Like, yeah, we have to. I don't know. You can't call him Big Snatch. Like, he's already Little Snatch. But he's like, okay, let me explain this. This is like when you have that big friend who's enormous. He's like 8 foot. And he's like 700 pounds. He's that big guy, and his name's Tiny. It's kind of like Tiny. You know what I mean? He's not like, he's a Big Snatch, but his name's Little Snatch. I didn't give him the name, so if anybody finds any offense in the name, you have to take that up with Tim. That was not. I had nothing to do with that. Then at one point, Tim's in the Avant and he like screams, "Little Snatch, help me!" And Little Snatch got to come over there and like get him lifted up. He's like flipped over almost forward, about to do a front flip. How are you gonna do a somersault with an Avant? That's cool. So I would like to see in the next video you to finish the entire somersault with the Avant, and I will super chat you $50 for a somersault with the Avant. and I'll let you off of a few tickets. I just want to see it. So, yeah, I'm telling you, Tim, he looks like he don't need the cart. He could just pick up that log and then pick up the Avant and carry them both and put them both in the trailer. So that's a bulky little snatch. That's a beefy little snatch. You know, this is getting weird. Just like Mario Kart. It looks fun to drive, dude. It looks so fun. College drink, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Burke. He dominates that thing. It's always on the job site. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. Okay, so I want to do the climbing stuff here before we get too far into this. So I went over. That was Veterans Tree Service. Um, he's that guy. He buys his subscribers. So if you want to unsubscribe to him, you can't. I think he doesn't care. He actually doesn't even want you to subscribe to his channel. He said he would be happy if you just subscribe to mine instead, or my members. That's what do that. That reminds me. Shout out Ground Pounder for being the man, always supporting. Shout out to Jay. Jay is cooler than the other side of the pillow. J306. Shout out 5Chris5. He's the man. Then there's my brother. Shout out Super Shay. Appreciate you, brother, and Joseph. So yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the members. You guys are the best. So we jump over now to a different YouTube channel. I've tried to avoid watching this because this dude's I feel like he's like an industry plant. But the YouTube channel is Bartlett Arbor Supply. And let me back this up so we can get everything into the camera. But I want to show you some stuff here. And this should be kind of fun to do. Oh. Problem is I need to be able to get everything in the camera. I really don't hate you're funny. Alright, let me see if that's okay. Yeah, we can make that work. So I think this setup works way better for our live feeds. You have to let me know in the comments if you like this better. But I think it's going to work much better for our live feeds. We'll see. Okay, so I go over to Bartlett Arbor Supply. The video they put out is called ART Snaketail. So what this thing is this little rope, okay? It's like a little rope sling looking thing with some pockets on it, like little pockets made into it, and a ring on the end. Not a carabiner, but a ring. And he decides that he's gonna sell you on this product, and was like, I'm gonna show you how to use it as a split tail first, and how to foot lock with it. And I think the dude who sells the wood stoves, what's his name? I don't know. I think he sells wood stoves. I know that, and like charcoal soap. But Game of Trees, that's what it is. That the wood stove salesman. He does that foot locking thing too. Nobody let me know that he wasn't talking about a shoe store. Like somebody could have let me know. I thought he was talking about Foot Locker, because what he was doing was weird. But he says he's going to show you how to foot lock. In the video, check it out. Like I said, the video was called ART Snaketail, and it's from Bartlett's Arbor Supply. So he shows how to foot lock, but the cool thing about when he showed how to foot lock is he showed how to use it while being hooked up with a tie-in system that would allow him to get down in a case of emergency. Now, when I've watched Game of Trees do it, he just foot locks up, then puts a climbing device on after he's up there. So if an accident was to happen on the way up, he couldn't, like, he'd be kind of stuck with his setup because his isn't a prusik, it's a hand ascender. So it's a rope grab. It doesn't allow it to go down. So check that out if you're somebody who likes foot locking and you want to know a good way of doing it. I do like that he showed a proper way how to foot lock with modern day, like, standards. Because I'm not trying to be mean, but Game of Trees is absolutely, like, that's very prehistoric the way he decides to do that, and actually is a bit dangerous. So I'm not a fan of the way that he does it, but I really like how this kid did it. So check that out. But I don't like with the device, it has a setup where I told you it's got the ring here, and then it's got little pockets made into it where you can clip carabiners and stuff in. And those little pockets are designed to break away and break, which I don't like that at all. I don't want anything that I'm tied into to possibly break. So he shows you how to use it foot locking. Then he shows you how to use it as a cambium saver or a friction saver and as a redirect. So here's my issue with this. The ART Snaketail cost $200 and you have to pay shipping for a little piece of rope with a ring on it. I'm not paying $200 for a little piece of rope with a ring on it. That's dumb. So I'm going to show you how to do all the shit that he showed with simple stuff like speed line strap, carabiner with a pulley, and some other stuff. Let's start out with using it SRT with the Rope Runner Pro. So he used it as a redirect, which was kind of cool. What he did, so we'll use and I'll show you how to do it with the zigzag DRT, and how to use a DRT retrievable redirect and stuff. So I would simply just use this thing and pull it on and clip it on like that onto a limb. And then if I needed to redirect, I would pull the system over and just clip in. Okay? The problem with this kind of setup is now when I get over to where I want to go, I can no longer retrieve that. That's the issue. So if you wanted to make this thing retrievable, you can. So that's what he was showing, is to make it a retrievable redirect, and you can make this retrievable. It's very simple. You take yourself a carabiner and a micro pulley. Let me show you the way this micro pulley is designed, because this is kind of important. So you see how this micro pulley is? Okay, so now when you go to hook this up, we'll leave it down. You have a speed line strap with carabiner. So I throw that over. I would take this, the micro pulley, put it in and clip it in like I would normally do. Clipped in there, and I would also clip this in above it. Actually, I would like to reverse that, but I can't. Yeah, okay. So you're clipped in like this, and you're running off of that, and you're able to go over here. So with the addition of that micro pulley, that other carabiner, I can now retrieve this thing over to here if I needed to. So it's very simple. Now I have this into a pulley there. So it's hooked up. You guys see that it's hooked up right there. Now just to retrieve it, all you would do is just tie a simple stopper knot. A little stopper knot like that. So I'm over on my new point and I want to re-anchor over there instead of running any more redirects. And I would simply just go to pull it in. It'll go up through that first carabiner and it's grabbed by the micro pulley. So that same setup, that's how it retrieved it. It caught at the micro pulley. Now here, that gives you an SRT redirect that's retrievable. And after it's set up, it's just like that. So you can use this same thing as a cambium saver if we wanted to. So if I wanted to hook that up, you guys just seen how that worked. If I wanted to climb off that micro pulley, I would just hook up with a zigzag. Now we're climbing on a moving rope system. And I would just hook it up and do it like I did there. Except for probably with a sewn eye like this, I bet you I don't even have to tie a stopper knot. I bet you it catches on its own. So now I'm climbing DRT with a zigzag off that same little setup. So I have my speed line strap and I'm able to climb off of it. Same thing, when I go to retrieve it, it's the exact same thing. The way I set it up is micro pulley is going to be what catches it. This carabiner is just holding it in line. So it's going to go up, it's going to pass through this carabiner, the first one, and then it's going to catch on the micro pulley. So this has a sewn eye setup. I'm pretty sure it'll catch it. So we'll just try it. Yeah, it did. So, just like that. Same way. Now here's what's kind of cool. You can make yourself, let's see if I can do this. You can set this up for guys that like to climb dual rope on a moving rope system. You'll get yourself into a bind. If you've ever been on a moving rope system like this and tried climbing and got somewhere to where you're like up against a union or a branch or something, and you're on a moving rope, it doesn't move very good. You start to get all that friction from whatever branch you're up against. Your rope's up against it, and it's going at an angle, and it doesn't want to move. So you could take and set this up, climb off of it like that, with it cinched up, and then clip the whole thing into it with both ends of the rope. The problem is that kind of setup pulls the two ropes together, and now they're kind of rubbing each other there on that one. And not to mention, as they're rubbing each other, and you're losing your action on your device because of the extra friction, it's no longer retrievable. So you could technically set it up with just the two carabiners and then clip one end on one side, okay, and one end on the other. So then it is kind of nice that you have the setup and it's separating the two. They're not fighting each other. Do you see that in the video? I'm actually going to move you guys closer for this part. So, you see that there? Yeah, there we go. So they're separated. And that's what you want. You don't want your ropes being together. And I can move around. It stays pretty nice. It's sliding a little bit because I got all that friction up there on that point up there. But if I had weight into it, they would even out. So the problem with this is that's not retrievable. How can we make this retrievable and clean this up a little bit? Well, the micro pulley again. So with this setup, I am almost going to, the main part of this setup is going to be this carabiner. This one right here. This isn't going to do much of anything, but it's going to be involved in it. So how can we make a DRT retrievable setup with that and like having them so they don't rub? Here's how you do it. So you put the carabiner, take the micro pulley off. You're going to look at your zigzag, and you're going to take the moving end that goes into the zigzag and has the tail, okay? And you're going to capture that onto the micro pulley. Okay? So then you're going to take the stationary end that anchors. Let me get it all wrapped up and twisted. Okay. It's going to go through the carabiner and not into the micro pulley. Oh shit, what am I doing? Okay. So now that's all set up, but if you can't just climb on that, it's going to fall out. So you'll clip this last one, and you could probably just clip them all together and it would work. But yeah, clip them all into there. That's the way I did it, yeah. So now what you got is you're climbing off the micro pulley, which is nice. Stupid ass thing. How did I have that set up earlier? Oh, okay. My bad. Stationary end. So with this climbing setup, you're climbing off the micro pulley, and if you notice, when you set that up, that micro pulley allows the rope, hang on, let me see if I can show you. Okay, yeah. So it travels through there, while this one's through there, and it keeps them separated. It keeps them aligned, keeps them separated. With this particular carabiner, you could actually rotate this whole thing. Here's the other reason I really like this micro pulley. It goes over the gate. So you could separate them there and put it, this is a D-shaped or whatever, so it's wider at the top than at the bottom. So if you put it at the bottom, it'll like force it to orientate itself a little better. So that same setup, you're just able to take all of that, clip that together, clip the whole thing in there, is the way it's supposed to be. And then when you go to retrieve, when you go to retrieve now, if I was to get over here and I wanted to retrieve the whole thing in my anchor, I should be able to pull that out. That goes through both, okay? Back up through this top one, where it was at, drops down, but will it retrieve this? And then the same thing like we did before, it grabs both and lifts out. So even if you climb DRT, there is a good way to redirect, and you can make them retrievable. So I would just say keep practicing, keep learning new stuff. I rarely feel like I would ever get in a position where I would need a retrievable DRT or moving rope system, because I would just retie somewhere else. But other guys, maybe that's just how they feel comfortable, is climbing dual rope and not climbing single rope. So that's just a little like pointer for anybody. There's a billion different ways to do all this, and there's no need to go out and spend $200 on a little piece of rope with a ring when you have micro pulleys probably already and carabiners and a speed line strap. So I didn't go out and buy a $200 tool and then spend 30 on shipping. I just used the stuff I already have in my bag, and I feel like I get an understanding of my gear more than the average guy who just uses this micro pulley for one thing. Like, you kind of leave things open, like, don't put yourself into a little box, because you're going to find yourself regularly running into issues and not being able to solve them because you do every little thing by a book standard. I think rules are in place and rules are out there to help you and keep you safe, but at the same time, you can really goof things up if you try to think that every situation and scenario has a booklet answer, because they don't. And we're gonna get to, in just a second, we're gonna get to the educated climber, and we'll talk about that a little more, about how different guys do things different ways, and it doesn't mean anybody else is right or wrong, but yeah. So that's my little setup there. Instead of a $200 retrievable tool, dang, that's too far away, damn it. I say go buy yourself a new speedline strap that you can use 10 different ways for 10 different things. A good micro pulley, and do that instead. Alright, so I don't think I really had anything else with the gear. I finally tried some of these speedline straps. My brother gave me one. So those notch ones. And I don't know how I feel about them being fixed like this with these carabiners. We'll see how I end up liking it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of odd to me to have it fixed to the strap, but I mean, whatever. Put that back on. Oh no. I have to wrap these things up when I put them on my climb line, because if not, when that pine tree I was doing last week, or just a few days ago actually, as I was doing it, the wind picked up really, really bad, and my speedline straps were like sticking straight out. I had some of the longer purple ones that are like same length as these, and as I'm cutting, I look out and I see stuff flipping out here, and it's my speedline straps like flipping straight out. I'm like, the wind is gnarly. So I'll do that and braid them up so that that's like less than half of the length that it was originally. There's no big loop to catch onto things. Or I'll simply take it, and before I stow it away on my carrot tool on the back, if it's a long one, I'll just double it like this, tie a little loop in it, and then clip it back to itself. If you try to just loop it and put it back on, it'll wiggle itself out. But this way is super simple to undo, and you can, you don't have to do a bunch. But if you take it, double it, and try to clip it back on, before you know it, it's just gonna wiggle itself off. It's gonna be knotted like that, or something weird onto it, or So I try to make things as streamlined and as simple to deal with as possible. So usually I just take and tie a loop in it and clip them both like that, and then I can easily, when I get it out, take it, do that. Or you take these and unclip that, grab this end and flick it, and it comes out. So I'm a bit of a spaz when it comes to not having things that hang off. There's nothing more aggravating when you're up in a tree and you're climbing around and you get stopped in your place. And it's all because your lanyard, a loop in your lanyard caught a stop, or a speedline strap caught a stop. I hate it. It just like, I threw my neck out of place one time. I was like, hey, check this out. I'm about to do this gnarly swing, and I took off and jumped backwards. And when I jumped backwards, a speed line strap hooked on a branch, and I said, and whoom, and I whipped my neck, and like had trouble being able to even look around for like days. So yeah, stow your stuff away. There's that simple way with these where you just flatten it, put them together, and then just start crisscrossing them like this over each other repeatedly, and then clip the two together at the end. And after a while, you get pretty efficient at wrapping them up. It's pretty simple. You don't got to worry about much. You can do it with almost one hand, but then you just unclip one, shake it. Don't double tug it. Just shake it one time. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, it's probably one of the most like versatile tools that I use on a daily basis, or have been able to integrate into so many different things. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure the strap-ons he was talking about are totally different, and a different color too. I tell you that you want to hear a weird. I don't know if I should tell this story. I'm gonna tell this story. Yeah. Okay. So you remember me telling you I used to work for that dude who owes me a bunch of money, and I'm trying, Grandpa. So listen to this. This is crazy. So that when I was working for him, we used to show up, and it was ridiculous. He would want us at his house at 6 o'clock in the morning. We would get there. He would still be sleeping. We'd have to beat on the door, wake him up, get him up, just so he could hand somebody the work card so that we could go get gas. And like, he was just a pain. Like, it was aggravating. He's lazy as hell, but we would show up, and he sometimes he would just be waking up. And I'm like, I'm gonna regret telling this one, but I'm gonna tell it anyway to him. So I'm like, all right, well, knock on the door, no answer. Knock on the door, no answer. Knock on the door, no answer. To the point I'm getting pissed, so I went around the side of the house and beat on their window. And it must have woke his wife up, because she comes to the door and she's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm making coffee right now. You guys come in when you're ready. And I'm like, okay, right, I'll cool. So I wait a little bit because I don't want to be rude. They're just waking up. I give them a little time to wake up and like have a cup of coffee. But at least I've got them awake, and now we're gonna get there. So we go walking in, me and the guys, and the guys are. We've been sitting outside talking shit about them for an hour, about how lazy they are, how stupid this is, that we all got to be there, and this and that and this and that. So we're all aggravated, and we walk in. As I walk in, now I need to leave a little context. This man has 3 daughters that live with him. It may have only been 2 daughters at the time, but I think it was 3. So 3 daughters live with him. His wife and him. We walk in, and we all sit down at the kitchen table. We gotta walk through the kitchen to get there, dining room, sit at the table. As I walk in, his wife is getting coffee, and she's like, the coffee's done if you want a cup. And she's getting him coffee and taking it to him because he's a little puss. But I walk to the table, and this is crazy. I walk to the table, and sitting on the table is a replica wiener. A dildo. A very large, dark colored beaten stick. And this thing's just sitting on the kitchen table, like right in the middle, as if it's Thanksgiving and we're all gonna eat dick for dinner. And oh my God, I wish I wouldn't have told this story. I'm already in too deep. God dang it. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna finish this. So it's just sitting there, and I'm like, what the fuck? No way. So, and I need to give a little more context. I hate admitting this. So I'm related to the guy. He's actually my uncle. By blood. Like, I don't. He's no good as far as I'm concerned. He still owes me a shitload of money, and came to my mom's funeral and told me that we was gonna make everything right and this and that, and yeah, and now, like, he's in so much trouble. I doubt I'll ever see a penny. But I come in, mind you, I'm related to him. And she always played the game like he's the mean one. He's the one that screws you over, this, that. So I always thought she was cool. So I walk in. I'm the first one because I'm kind of, you guys, I'm the boss. I am a boss. I am the boss. And you don't know what that is, you son of a bitch. You better knock it off. I'm not explaining it anymore. It looked like a damn baby's arm. Like, I'm looking around here for something that some bitch was like this. It was like this. It was big. And it was that color. Oh shit, you can't see that. It was that color. That color right there. Same color as the pulley. Same color as the cap. Like, it was all like that, but it was like that. And I'm like, this is messed up. Why is it so big? That's the first thing. I'm like, why is it so big? Like, actually, why is that the same size as mine? That's what I said. I was like, why the hell is that the exact? How did they get mine but black? Like, that's wild. And I'm like, this is crazy. But it's the kitchen table. Okay, so I'm like, this messed up. So my instincts kick in. I know the guys are coming in behind me. Okay? I'm a nice guy. So my instinct is, I'm like, oh shit, what do we go? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I'm like, I grabbed a tea towel I seen sitting there and I like threw it over it. And I'm like, oh fuck. And I'm sitting at the table. And I'm like, and the guys come in and they're like, I'm like spazzing a little bit. I'm not, my face ain't that close to it. Like, I'm telling the story here. I wasn't like face on it or nothing. Like, I was a little away from it, a little further than that. So I'm actually gonna sit like this right now. So I was like there, and I'm like, man, thing's ridiculous. Why is literally ridiculous? I'm like, why is it on the kitchen table? What's going on here? This is weird. The craziest part is half of this live feed is going to be a wiener story. We're going down the wrong path. Commit. So I'm like, I threw the towel over it. I'm like, oh my god, I hope nobody's seen that. And the guys come in, and there's this one guy named Juan. I got along with him. He absolutely, completely, 100% white dude with the name Juan, and he was funny. I get a kick out of him. He's hilarious. Like, we would always cut up, and I like hang out with him. Like, he's good time. He's funny. And like, he looked at me and he could like tell something was off. And okay, and she had just finishing up making his coffee as I walked in, and I'm like, whoa, wiener, and I covered it. Okay? And then I sat down and I'm like, I don't even want to be this close to it. I feel like I should leave right now. I just go. So then she comes walking by and she like looks over and she's like, coffee, go get your cup. And she smiles at me and I'm like, okay, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get the cup. So Juan's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm looking up at him, and he's like, I'm sitting there like, dude, this is weird. I just want to go. I just want to go. Why is this morning just keeps getting weird? My instinct is that this is hers, okay? I'm like, I don't want to embarrass her. She's nice. She's all nice, and she's like smiling at me as she went to go give him his coffee, being all friendly, and I'm like, you left your wiener on the table. And I'm like, you left it on the table. And so I'm like, this is weird. And Juan's looking at me, and she just walked in another room, and he's like, and I'm like, and he's like, what's going on? I don't want to talk about it. You wait till we get outside. He's like, what? And she comes in, she's like, you see his wallet anywhere? And I'm like, oh, no, it's definitely not under that damn tea towel. Don't lift the tea towel. And she's like, I think she finds it or something. walks up, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, look at it. Look under that towel. And he said, what? I said, look under that towel. Okay? I said, yeah. He goes over there. He lifts it up. It's 6:30 in the morning. Everybody in this house is sleeping. He lifts this up and goes, what the hell? As loud as he can. Damn, that's a big one. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck. What are you talking? Dude. And I'm so embarrassed at that point. And here she come walking back in. He threw the tea towel on. He goes, dang. Her name was, he's funny. Her name's Shannon. But since he's my uncle, I feel like I'm kind of related to her too. Because that's like his new wife or something. Not really, but I guess I am. So I'm trying to be respectful. And he says, damn, Shannon, you left that big old hogger sitting on the kitchen table. And I swear to God, my face, you could have lit a cigarette off of my face. My face, I turned so red. I don't have nothing to do with this big old peewee sitting in the middle of the table. I don't have nothing to do with it. But I am embarrassed as embarrassed gets. And I'm looking at Juan, and I'm like, you motherfucker, don't. And he's not having it. He's committed. He's going to make a big fiasco of it. And I'm like, no, dude, don't. And he says, you going to leave that big old hogger sitting there on the table? God dang, that had to beat it up. And she looks at him, all weird. And then all of a sudden, grumpy ass, my uncle comes walking in his underwear. His little dun-dun is looking like some dollar store superhero with no cape. Comes walking in, and I'm like, get some damn clothes on. What's your deal? And why don't you pick this up? Like, so he sits down, and he goes, he's the rudest, grumpiest person in the world in the morning. And we're in his house, so he's all being a titty baby about being tired and stuff. And Juan's still on one. Juan's not having it. He thinks this is the greatest thing in the world. I just want to leave. I just want to leave. And so Juan says, damn, Shannon. And she goes, what are you talking about? He goes, that damn dick on the table. And I'm like, fuck, dude. No way. I look over at my uncle. And he goes from being very grumpy to looking very kind of scared. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's his deal? And Juan goes over there, so I could have killed him. He says, what is that? God, dog, look at the size of it. He says, and at this time, she's making herself a cup of coffee. And so my uncle is the only one that can see this massive thing that's just sitting here on the kitchen table where people eat. So she's like making her cup of coffee, and Juan walks over to her. He can't just let it go. And he's like, damn, Shannon, how you going to leave your toys on the table? That's not even right. And he's laughing. He thinks everything's all funny. I feel like my face is about to light on fire, and I just want to leave. And it's the most awkward thing I've ever been part of. So she says, what are you talking about? He goes, the dick on the table. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, without a second of hesitation, she says that. She doesn't laugh. She doesn't smile. She keeps a straight face. She says, that's not mine. That's Randy's. And walked out of the room, dead-faced, just absolutely dead. And he is looking like it was definitely his. And I lost. And that is the story of the day I lost. The first time I lost all respect for my uncle. So, moral of the story is, I thought it was hers. It turns out it was his. And shit was weird from then on. I probably oversold the ending. But that was one of the most awkward days of my life. I would like to have it back. I don't like it. I don't think I should have been part of it. I don't think I should have ever seen it. I absolutely think if you're gonna have that thing out, it should never make it to the kitchen table. Just me personally, but yeah, I don't know. That would have been funny, Gordon. That would have been funny. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll eat my sandwich plain if that's the case. Um, I'm gonna have mine with nothing on it, please. So yeah. Um, that was a wiener story. I wish I gotta delete this stream. This got weird. But moral of the story is what the fuck? Yeah, yeah, pretty much like. And then we all had to go to work after that, and then we also had to respect him as if he was like a superior, which wasn't possible when you picture this uh, small child's leg looking thing that would. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't. Thinking about it right now, that I don't like doing that either. I don't want to even talk about it no more. So, all right, I told the story. I'm also gonna blame that story on Tim because he's the one that was like, "Tell it," and now I feel really weird and awkward in front of all you guys. So, yeah. Tim left. It scared him away. Dang. Asked me to tell it and then ran off. That SOB. He probably, I bet you money, in the middle of that story, he says, "Oh shit, I left mine on the kitchen table," and he probably ran off to go get his off his kitchen table. So, all right, I don't know where we were at, but I don't even know where we're going either. So it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm embarrassed right now, but I don't know. Whatever. I swear I have better stories than that. That wasn't my best one. It was just the only wiener one. I could have told any story. I went with that one. But moral of the story is my uncle sucks and does other shit apparently too. I don't know. I wish he'd just give me my money. He's out spending it on oversized dildos instead of giving it to me, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, well, I'm 6'5". Knee ascenders don't hardly fit. Really? Jeffrey, I my knee ascender is a bit different. I have my knee ascender here, Jeffrey. If you want, I just run a bungee, and on my it's set up to where I have a carabiner clip right here on my suspenders on my saddle, and I put my knee ascender on my foot, and then I take the bungee and I clip it up to that carabiner, so that as I take a step, it lifts up, and it just I think one of the hardest things to dial in and get to where it works correct is a knee ascender. A lot of other tools are much easier. There's nowhere near as many things involved and little adjustments that need to be made as there is when you're dealing with a knee ascender. It's tricky. So over here we use hooks. Yeah, well, I don't like even on removals. I don't use hooks. I don't spike up a tree anymore. Like I it's just unnecessary stress and stuff on me. So I set a line and I rope walk my way up, and I'm there in seconds, and I'm secure and safe. And if I want, I can work the tree up comfortably as I go, and so I don't. I just need working with spikes and gapping my way up a tree is really rough on my knees, so I try to avoid it. I'm so damn confused right now. The foot, chest, and hands are great. I just float on my clout. Dang. Hooks only on this contract. Right on. Even I rope walk even on all my removals. It's just I found it's so much easier on my body and my knees and stuff. And I like to use for the trees in my area. Most of them you you may have some rougher, thicker bark stuff at the base of the tree, but as you get up in the tree, it's much easier. So I use pole gaffs. So not only is it rough on my knees to have to spike my way up a tree, it's usually my pole gaffs they're very small and the potential for gapping out is always there. So I just cut that part out. I'm like, I'll rope walk. It'll be easier on me. I won't gaff out, and I can still wear my pole gaffs, which are much, much, much lighter. Passerbys are trash. Use them once and threw them out of the tree at my boss. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Like, I don't think spikes is after I tried, okay, I tried single strapped spikes, and man, they hurt. They hurt so bad. I had blisters on my calves and like a big sore across my shin. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. I really would like to get good at climbing, but those things hurt too bad. I don't think I can, like, I don't know if I can do it. So then I used to wear a bunch of cushion and shit on my spikes to kind of help with it. But then I found that you just get double strap pads. So the higher up on your calf you can get, the better. So if you can get that strap above your calf swells out. So the potential for the spike starting to slide down won't be there. It'll hold up high and just makes it so it sets much better. For me personally, I like my spikes extended out. I want the strap to go up above my calf and hold into place. Um, Maybe other guys like them different, but one thing I've been thinking about is switching to the Velcro bottom straps. So. They're not on contract anymore. Right on. Yeah, dude, and that's rough on a dude. Like climbing's hard enough. When you give somebody a piece of trash spikes to wear, that's setting them up for failure and making sure that they're definitely not going to enjoy this. You look like you were put in a dejuicer. Yeah, I probably was. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what that is, but I think I ran into your mother there, Tanner. I heard geckos I've heard some guys are really liking the newer geckos and stuff. So I back in the day I heard that they were the composite, like it was kind of rough on shins. But I don't think guys realized that you could extend your spikes out. I think guys with longer legs were wearing them really short when they should be. If you have a longer leg there, then you want to lift that spike up. I just I think the job is so scary and so dangerous that most people focus all their attention on just being able to do the job and not trying to dial things in. Yeah, I'm telling you, his mom was there. Actually show me a picture of the top of your mom's head. I'll tell you if it was her. I'll never forget it. She had a little bald spot. Little prick. That's why I don't mind a troll every once in a while. Listen to this shit. I'm sitting here today. My dog's going crazy. I had the cops all over my house because these teenage boys next door put on shiesties, walking down the road and burnt a house down. And then, as they were walking back from lighting it on fire, I think they thought I was going out to the road to stop them, but I was just walking out to go get my trash can. But I think they thought I was walking out to stop them, and they looked at me as they were walking, because they walked down the street. They went around the corner down here. There's an abandoned house, little like it's not even a whole house. It had, some of it had burnt once. They must have lit it on fire. They come walking back. I wouldn't have paid no attention to them if you didn't both have ski masks on. Like, why the hell are you wearing ski masks? And it was noon. They did this at noon on a Saturday. They walk down. They light the place on fire. They come walking back. They see me walking out towards them because I was pissed off because they were like, the dog was going nuts because I couldn't see him. I'm in here and he's barking like crazy. I come outside. I'm like, what are you barking about? And I walk around the corner. There's two teenagers there with shiesties on. And I'm like, what the fuck are you two doing? Weird. But like, it's a black kid and a white kid. And I'm like, you're just probably being dumb teenagers. Whatever. So they go walking down. That happens. They come back. They think I'm walking to the road. So they look at me. They turn around and go back the other way. And I'm like, the hell? So I go inside. And I'm like, babe, those teenagers across the street, those kids are acting weird as hell. And she says, and I said, they're walking down the road away from here right now. They were walking up here. She says, what direction did you say they were walking? I was like, they were walking away from here. They were walking towards us again. And they turned around and thought I was going to, or something, and went back. Well, when they heard my door shut, because my door's so squeaky, my screen door, they must have heard it shut as I went back in. So they turned around again and started booking it back. Because I think as they turned around to go away from me, they looked over and the little house was so dead, rotten, abandoned, like it was so dry, it had lit quick and was burning fast. And so they couldn't go back that way. And they realized I went in, so they like booked it, power walked. The black boy, he was shaped like a pear. So somehow, I never seen anybody do this. That kid twerked and walked at the same, like at a fast walk. How you twerk and walk at the same time? I never seen it before, but he did it. And they both wearing their shiesties, freaking out, running away. And they see that I'm looking at them again. And they're like, oh shit. So they've never been in this house before. The little white boy, I'd seen him before with a different friend. And I caught him in my neighbor's boat. So I'd never seen the black kid before. But as they're walking back, they realize I'm looking at them. So they go to the neighbor's yard and walk into the neighbor's backyard and walk around to go into the house, I guess to stump me and not make me believe, like trick me as to where they're going. And so then all the fire departments show up and all that good stuff. And then like I was just hanging out with officers, you know. It's a typical day for me, being the sheriff. And they're like, hey, can we talk to you? And I'm like, I ain't no snitch. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a cop. Okay, we can talk. So, yeah, I don't know. But I don't think they're even going to get in trouble. Like, they didn't take them to jail. Like, nothing happened to them. They're still chilling. And they burnt the house down. It's kind of crazy. That's how my day went. It ruined half my day. That's why I've been telling stupid stories and showing some demo stuff, because I didn't get to watch as much videos as I wanted to this week. So. Spurs, gas, hook, spike, yep. Picks, I've heard them called picks. Getting up on the picks. Okay. I stumbled across the channel. It was called Treeco. Look at this shit. This guy has 300, and he does tree work. They do tree work kind of stuff. They have 331,000 subscribers, okay? They only have 11 videos. Their last 4 videos that they've uploaded, which I'm telling you, there's maybe 8 to... Okay, there's 11 videos. So out of the last 4 that they've posted, 498 views, 315 views, 209 views, 562 views. How do you only do 209 views when you have 331,000 subscribers? That's crazy. But so I'm like, something's not adding up here. This is weird. Why is this channel so like off? So then I went and checked the dude's shorts. That sounds weird. It makes it look like I like looked in his pants. His short videos, and listen to this. So his top 4 shorts. Number 1, 167 million. Number 2, 80 million. Number 3, 22 million. Number 4, 7.5 million. And then he had like 4 more that were in the millions. So I don't know. I don't know how, like, he probably bought everything like Tim did. That's what I'm saying. So don't trust that Tim guy. I'm telling you. If he's, hopefully he's not here no more. Don't trust that guy. He's a shyster. What else happened? Oh yeah. So Ethan brings me back to my childhood. What, burning houses down? That's what's funny. My cousin did that right down the road here when I used to live in the town up from this, and my cousins used to live here, and they burnt a house down. And one of my cousins, it was both my cousins. They burnt it down together, and then the one cousin who was always getting in trouble took all the blame so that the other one didn't get in trouble. And he like sat in juvie forever over burning this abandoned house down. So yeah, that stuff's sketchy. That's just, I don't get it. And we used to have an abandoned house next to us here. They redid it a year or so ago, and I'm just so glad, because there would be random times I'd look in my backyard, there'd be some like crackhead out in the like rummaging through the house and like spray painting shit and stealing stuff, and like it was chaos. When it was cold outside, they were living in it and starting fires and stuff. So Corvallis pushes no spikes. I don't know, it's a hippie area. There's a chance, but I think these kids are from out of town. Like, if I'm being honest, they're probably gonna bust the window out of my truck now, because like the stupid cop lady comes down right in front of them after me being like, yeah, they walked. I told them what I seen. I told the cop what I seen, and I'm like, you know, I'm a cop too. You know, I got this. I should have wore this, and I should have wore the hat. I should have went up there like this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to give you a statement. All right, so listen here, lady. And then I'm like, hang on, let me see your gun. Let me hold it while I do this. But yeah, I'm a now I'm a snitch, a narc. Now these kids are gonna come back and burn my trailer down in my truck, and probably try to kill the dog, because he's the whole reason for all of it. If he wasn't barking at him like that, I don't know. But yeah, yeah, I do now. I do now. That's why I'm thinking there's a chance that what happened to my truck actually happened at a Walmart, because what I said was it looked like somebody had hit it with an axe. But the more I look at it, if you had a little bit of a lifted truck and you took your door, it's like right where a door, somebody could have slammed it hard with a door. So, I mean, maybe somebody pulled up next to my truck and slammed into it with, I don't know. But there's like it's a huge gash, like all the way down to the metal. So, and it's dented, so it's rough. Not to mention some of the crazy death threats and phone calls that I've got. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. All right. So another channel. Check out Ethan Caceres. So he put out a video called "Big Mistake on a Little Trim," and he did the trick where, yeah, something like this. Alright? And you're blocking this thing down. And you left a stub right there. And as you block it, let's say this is there. You take this chunk right here. And there was another one that went this way, but you already cut it off. Okay, so you're going to take this little chunk right there. And he went and shoved it off, and it went down. It said bink off that, and went right into the truck. Absolutely, just right onto the front fender of the truck. Put a big old dent into it. I've done it. Mine, I actually was doing a tulip poplar tree. Same thing. After it went off, it hit. It went straight through a garage, through a shed, through the whole wall. Took the wall out. I was absolutely bummed. That day, I had worked from like 7 in the morning until noon. I got down and went to a funeral on my lunch break, and then came back and got back up in the tree. I think it was almost like 6 o'clock in the evening. I was still in the tree, and I was blocking it down, and I got tired and stopped. I got lazy pushing a piece off, and it kind of, okay, this is something I want to talk about. Like, when you have that issue when you're blocking something down, now, what happens when you're blocking something down like this is you go to roll it off, and it goes to the side. So the reason for that, and I'll draw it real quick. If we just looked at a round piece. So pretend like this here that we're looking at. So that chunk right there, this is if that chunk was gone, we're looking down on this piece, okay? So we're going to try to push this off this way. The problem is when you go to push something off, like say we're pushing it, it would be this way off this. When you go to push this off, you shove the piece and say you have it going. Alright, and it's moving, you're pushing it off, you're getting it to go. Alright. Take that part off. Now we're moving it to the side a little bit. And as you go to roll it off, the problem is it rolls off of a round edge. So as you're going to roll that off of this, you want it to go here, but it rolls this way to the side and rolls off, or it rolls a little to this side. I see it happen all the time when guys are blocking stuff down. Especially when you get into big heavy chunks, it gets really, really tricky. And a lot of times when you have to do this, you need to be absolutely dialed in. Let's say there's like a fence here too on this. And say you only have this little area. So go check out Ethan. But the next channel, and the reason we're talking about this, was at ZD Climber. The video was called Taking Down a Dead Oak Tree Before the New Pole is Finished. The dude does a great job rigging this massive tree out. He's always really good with his rigging. I like the way he sets stuff up. He makes sure he's not dealing with rubbing ropes. He's a really good, I like his crew. They do a good job. So the problem is when he was chunking down, as he was going to pull one off and landed into this area, and they even had a tagline on it, pulling it out. As it went to go off, it goes off that round edge. It threw it to one side. So it ended up coming and fall. Instead of falling here, it fell over to here. And he got lucky. It didn't hit the fence, and it went okay. So there's a little trick you can do. I get why a guy would want to make a straight pass cut. Because it's much easier. Have to put a notch on every single chunk of wood would be too much. But you can do a little bit of a trick. What you do is, so you're tied in right below this cut. You made your cut across, okay? So what direction? Let's say I wanted to put it right here, okay? What I would do is I would make my cut across. I would pull my saw out. Then I would make a little cut there, like a little downward Humboldt notch. So now when I go to shove this off, it lands on that little ramp and goes the direction I want. So it's really simple. Make your cut through whatever direction. If I wanted it to go this way with this one, I would cut a little drop lip right there. Just make my cut. I'd run my saw up. It doesn't even have to be that big. It could be even smaller. Just a little lip that makes it to where it's not round right there. And it's able to go onto a track and keep it aligned. So you could do that same thing right here, and you would end up with like a little lip looking thing, I guess like this, where a notch would be, and then you would fall forward. And it's a lot easier than doing a notch and lining everything up. You just make your straight cut, go all the way through, wherever you wanted to make it. Let's say we're making it up here. We make our cut through, and then we cut that little lip off. So now it has a little lip to travel on as I go to push it off, and it keeps it aligned. But it's a simple little trick that I don't see used very often. And it's just, if you've ever been up there blocking a tree down on a spar, it gets really tricky as you're going to spin the piece and get it to go off. You're dealing with a rounded edge, and you can't be that dialed in, especially when you're dealing with a lot of weight. So just a little trick that can be used. But check out ZD Climber. He's a good channel to watch. I really like his stuff. So last one. This is it for me. All right. Educated Climber. If you guys remember, a couple weeks back, I gave him a little bit of hell on a video that he put out, and he was blaming the ground guy. Well, it turns out in that video, he had put into the description that it was his fault. But in the title, he says, why is it always the climber's fault or something? Or, no, I think he put in the title, my ground guy smashed a fence. And then in the video, he acted like it was the ground guy's fault. But apparently, I was wrong, because in the description, he admitted fault. Here's where the issue with that lies. I don't get on YouTube to read stuff. I don't want to read the description. If I could get away without reading your title, I would do that too. Especially because everybody's got to have 2 titles nowadays. So he puts out a video talking about that video. I gave him a bit of hell, and after reading the description, I mean, technically, I guess I kind of had to eat a little bit of crow, but really, I was right, and I'm like, I wonder how he feels about it. So then he lets us in. The video is called Part 2, Why It's Always the Climber's Fault. Patrick's out in the woods by a creek, and he's talking to the camera. He says a whole bunch of smart stuff that I probably got to watch at least 2 or 3 more times before I'm going to really get it all, because he's a smart guy. But basically, I think what he was saying was I was right about everything. And that he needs to get better communication skills. I mean, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he basically was just like, Sheriff Bourne was 100% right. I need to get better communication skills. And he said this, okay, maybe he didn't say those exact words, but I'm pretty sure this is what he meant. But he basically was like, you know, Mike was totally right. Sheriff Bourne knows everything, and he was dead on, and pretend like I'm educated. I'm Patrick. I need to get better communication skills, and I'm like, this is cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. And then he said that everyone else, I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to put me in on it, but he said everyone else. When you watch a YouTube video, that you shouldn't act like you know what happened from a single camera angle or multiple camera angles, because there's a lot of things that you don't know that went into the whole thing, and like a lot of context that isn't being told, and yada yada yada. Like, that's just in my opinion, when someone says that, like, I feel like he just didn't do his job making the video and editing it correctly to where all that was shown. It's, if you want a certain context to come across on your video, then you have the power to edit it and make it come across like that. I personally feel like the video was made to make it look like it was the ground guy's fault, but it was like a, hey, tricked you if you read the description. And I hate to tell everybody who makes videos, but no one reads the description. But, I mean, maybe they do. I don't. So, yeah, I think he said I was right. And if you guys, and what did he say? Yeah, if you ever want to know the truth about something, just ask me. And I mean me as in me, not me as in I'm Patrick. Ask me. So if Patrick does something, that's educated climber, and you don't know, just ask me. If Tim does something, ask me. Unless it's something sus, like that double tug that he added me in. Don't at me about that stuff. Yeah, and Rion Rounds also put out a video, a big basswood removal. The video started out with a close-up of a cock, and the Merlot's a beast. But yeah, the video was called "My Biggest Basswood Removal Ever," and yeah, it like first thing it was a cock, and I'm like, this is weird. So if you haven't seen the cock yet, go watch his recent video. It's pretty good, guys. I feel like I've rambled for so long. I don't have much more else to say. Like, yeah. I'm not telling no more stories. So, thanks for hanging out. Hardhead wedges. I'll be waiting for you to send me some new wedges. Tim, never at me about sus stuff again, especially double tugging. And is there something else I was supposed to talk about? Yeah, don't waste your money buying this overly expensive, unless you got the money to waste. Then I say do as you please, buy all the gear you want, and enjoy it and have fun. But for those of you that are on a budget and don't have the money to spend 200 and multiple hundreds of dollars on little things of gear, I'm here. If I can help you with something, you have any questions, you want to know if there's a different way to make something work, let me know. I got time. In between catching criminals and stuff like that. But yeah, wouldn't you rather fight a 6 foot 300-pound man or fight 5 average 10-year-olds? I would rather fight the massive guy because I'm supposed to lose that one. I don't know if big guys realize that. I almost got in a fight with my neighbor's family. I don't know, he parked at my house and then tried to punk me out and tried to punk my dog out. And then was surprised when I jumped the fence. Like, yeah, I would much rather fight the guy that I'm supposed to lose. Because if I lose, I'm supposed to lose. Now, if the little guy beats me up or the young guy beats me up, that sucks. Because, like, I was supposed to win. So, like, yeah, I'm totally with you. When you go to jail, punch the biggest guy there. See how it works for you. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And, yeah, Nammy, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely take the big guy. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you. Stay safe. If I can help you with anything, let me know. If you're not a cheapskate and you're a secure, strong, mentally sound person, you should go buy my memberships. Alright, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you, Ground Pounder, Dan, all you guys. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe and have a very safe work week. I'll see you next time.